the man who puts the bonus and the special in the Rich Eisen Show bonus special. From the New Orleans Saints, fresh off of his 8th Pro Bowl.
Woo!
None other than Cameron Jordan. Good to see you over there, Cam. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. You know, we're out here in Arizona.
Yes,
they
we
got
are.
the Phoenix Waste Management Open. You know, shout out to the Thunderbirds, aka Steve Jordan.
Okay.
You know,
That's your dad.
That would be him. He's a Thunderbird. He helps put you know, part of the group that helps put on the Phoenix Waste Management.
So I didn't know.
He's sort of a big deal, and here I am still in the shadows. You know, like I'm just a football player.
What shadows are those?
Oh, man, like I'm only a football player. He's so much more. You know, we always want to be more.
So your folks live down here?
Yeah,
in Arizona?
yeah. Well, you know, went to Chandler High. I say the Chandler High. People don't understand what I'm talking about, but we win a state championship like every other year. We travel around. We beat up on other squads.
So are you staying with your folks?
No, I have a house, probably 12 houses down from them.
Are you serious?
Man, you know, the Jordan compound is nice. I've got a house 12 houses down from my parents. My brother has a house 10 houses down from me. Sister 2 houses down from him. We're on the same block, and my wife hates it, so we're moving. We're moving.
I was about to say, you know, I mean, in-laws are great, but to be living around them,
I love it.
It's a different ball of wax.
Yeah, we're probably headed to Snobsdale, like, you know,
Okay.
TBD.
Okay.
As a Chandler kid, you don't, you know.
Okay.
But Snobsdale it is, you know.
What's your first? I think I've asked you this before. Well, let's bring it to a whole new audience right here on the Roku channel. What's your first football memory?
First football memory was probably being frozen cold, sitting in the stands somewhere. So I assume it was Minnesota, but it might be Chicago or Green Bay.
So it could be where your dad was on the road, maybe playing for the Vikings.
Absolutely. And I don't know if they're conjoining memories, because right after it was like the happiness of eating a hot dog in the stands while watching Pops play, right? Cheering with my Uncle Kent at the time, who was my dad's roommate from college.
Yeah.
And that was sort of it. And with connecting to heading towards the car, so it must have been a home game, because we're headed towards the car, and it's so cold it froze the inner locks of the car.
Yeah.
So you know now you're just miserable, like, you know, complaining because you're 4 or 5 years old, and you know you've got a dad out there trying to warm the car up, blow into the keyhole, however that hole happens. So glad we left Minnesota when I was 5. I never have to be cold again, except for this past year when I played the most miserable game of my life over at Cleveland at -19
Oh,
degrees.
that's right. That was one of those frozen solid games.
And for America that ever lies and says real football is playing the cold, I just want you to think about this silly situation that I was put in. Like, I'm looking at my teammates are looking at me, and I'm trying not to be, for lack of better words, you know, a weaker individual.
Yes.
But in all terms, I was a weaker individual mentally.
Honestly, I mean, freezing cold weather is one thing, and playing it in the snow is one thing. -19 is absurd. I mean,
I'm yelling at Deshaun, I would never come here.
Is it what you said to him? Did you really say that?
I was like, we've had some talks about. He's like, man, you know, doing some legendary stuff. I was like, this is not legendary. I would never come here. I'm angry at everybody. And then I'm going to the sidelines and, you know, immediately diving into the heater. And I have so much more respect for guys like Myles Garrett, for the entire Cleveland players that stick to and through. I got nothing but admiration for, you know, the Philadelphia and Kansas City players. Because if Buffalo, for sure. Because if it was up to me and it was like, Cam, you got practice, I'd turn into Allen Iverson. Practice? Are we talking about practice? Yeah. Not the game, but practice? No, I'll see y'all Sunday.
So what do you say, Cam Jordan, to those who have said this, and I called my shot saying this is going to be the Sports Troll TV storyline of the week. Who have the Eagles played anyway coming to this big game off of Daniel Jones and the Giants looking the way that they did, and obviously Brock Purdy couldn't even throw towards the end of that game. But
after the first quarter.
The last team to beat Philadelphia, though, were the New Orleans Saints. And what do you say when you hear the idea that the Eagles really haven't played as stiff competition as the Kansas City Chiefs?
I don't know what they're talking about, because I think that's probably, if anybody can beat Mahomes and the entire offensive assault weapons that he's weaponized, I think it would be Philadelphia Eagle and their D-line that has gone absolutely crazy this year. I'd simply say, you know, maybe turn on the New Orleans tape, which you probably can't because it wasn't Jalen Hurts. It was Gardner Minshew.
Correct. That's why I think people are kind of throwing that out there.
Throwing that out there. I mean, that was only sacks 113, 114, 115 and a half for me. You know?
Career. Yeah. Although it did feel like that's how many you had that day.
But so when you think about who they've played a lot. They had the Giants, they had the Cowboys. They played to beat the Giants again. Like it's hard to beat somebody in your division that you know so well multiple times in a year.
Right.
And yet they did it.
So what's your sense of Super Bowl 57 then?
I think that as a pass rusher, I'm looking forward to stellar play. As a run stopper.
Are you ducking a prediction? Is that what you're saying?
I'm leaning towards who's more stacked.
Okay.
As much as I love Travis Kelce and respect Pat Mahomes, I'm looking over at that Philly side, and you see Hassan Reddick, Brandon Graham, Sweat, Hargrave,
Cox,
Fletcher.
By the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Joseph Linval and Ndamukong Suh, Big Jordan Davis.
Damn.
They're star-studded. And then of course, you talk about Big Play Slay, a.k.a. Darius Slay, and my guy, the little slime, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, and he's going to talk crazy. I mean, he had a league-leading 6 picks, and he missed like 5 games.
Right.
I want my guys to succeed, and at the same time, I've probably got more guys over on the Philly side.
Right.
So if I can't be a part of it, I'm just going to root for them. Plus, if they win, I'm just going to be like, we should have won because we beat them.
Yes, you could say that. So that's where you're taking the Philadelphia
That's
Eagles
where
in
I'm
this
taking
game. Okay, that's where you're landing on that. So what do you think, Cam, when you see Sean Payton wearing orange right now, being introduced as the new head coach of the Denver Broncos?
Man, I knew he was going to a bigger market, but I mean, when I thought bigger market, I was thinking L.A., Dallas. For a second, I was thinking New York, and then you said Denver, and I said, well, when I said bigger market, I was clearly wrong. We're about similar. You'd say no.
It's upset you?
No, not at all. I mean, once you move on, right?
Right.
It probably would have upset me had he left the Saints and then like, hey, I'm going to Denver immediately. He went to TV. He chilled out for a little bit.
Yeah.
And, he said in his press conference he wasn't done with coaching. He was just done with the Saints. He just broke up with us, right?
Right. Yeah.
I appreciate, just like anything, I appreciate the years that we had together and wish him well, and we got a first rounder out of it.
Who's your quarterback this year, do you think?
Great question. The last couple of days it's got sort of real spicy over there on Twitter, huh? Mm-hmm. You've seen a former
Carr.
Black and silver quarterback and maybe put into a black and gold situation. I heard that he's visiting, right? I think I saw that yesterday that he's visiting somewhere online. He's visiting New Orleans. I'm in Arizona, so I mean, I'm clearly not in that invite situation.
Right.
It's crazy.
Well, you would have been. If you were there.
I got kids. He's got kids.
Of course.
I've been in New Orleans for 12 years. He's possibly heading there.
Right.
But
you'd be fine with that?
I mean, I've had decent conversation with DC. I like him as a person.
So you have conversation. You've conversed.
We were at the Pro Bowl last
you-
week. Was
did you
I
go up to
actively
him?
recruiting? I don't know. I don't know where that lies. I'm always actively recruiting. I don't even know if that's poaching. I'm just always actively recruiting. I saw Darren Waller. I'll say, hey, bud, your quarterback may be coming our way. Come on over. He's got a new head tattoo, and I said, wow.
Okay.
That would look great in black and gold.
Okay. All right. When you think now that Brady's gone, this division is completely wide open now.
I thought with Brady being here, the division was wide open. It's not like we were out of it.
This guy, man.
Yeah.
I forgot. You kept putting the bang thing on him. You going to miss beating him up then?
No, I mean, we lost to him twice this year. I can't even front. It hurts. But also, the year before we beat him 9-0.
Right.
I like us. I always like us.
I know you do. I know you do. Tell me about NFL Rivals.
We talk about it's launching soon. It's a mobile app that you can sort of be your own Sean Payton, right? You can
So
be
I
your
can leave
own
for Denver?
GM coach. You can leave your team and go to another team and pick up some more players. You get to pick up these cars. You get to pick up these packs and play with these players. A 9v9 situation.
Yeah.
Where it sort of brings you sort of a reminiscent of if you guys are old enough, NFL Blitz. If you guys aren't, NFL Street. We've got some actual hard hits. You don't have to go ahead and whisper to a quarterback, hey, is it okay if I put you on the ground? You don't have to ask for consent. You can just go ahead and go get it. 2023. You got to ask for consent to hit the quarterback.
I know, man. What did you hear the commissioner say that the game's never been better officiated?
I'm sure he has. When it comes down to a better officiating, he meant for more points being put on the board by slowing the reaction time of a defender.
Mm-hmm.
As you recall, Eric Armstead in this playoff game against the Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott rolling out of the end zone, backed up, which could have been a sack safety, but Eric Armstead pulls up because of not trying to get a penalty, not trying to penalize his team.
Well, I mean, Chris Jones, who's playing in this Super Bowl, had the most ridiculous roughing the passer penalty called this year for having his full body weight placed on Derek Carr, which he couldn't have done because of two things. One, his offhand was actually was on the ground to make sure he didn't put his full body weight on him, and the other hand he couldn't use to keep his body weight off of him because he had already used it to rip the damn football out of Derek Carr's hands. I mean, it's one of the most incredible athletic feats of any defender I've seen all year, with all due respect. You know, for him to do that, there it is right there on the screen. I mean, that this got called for roughing the passer is
then
just
you have like all 330 of Chris Jones like leaning to the side, trying not to put pressure on him.
Because
he's doing everything the right way, and yet that's still a flag. Right.
He's got the football in his hand.
So technically, Derek Carr was on Chris Jones.
You could make that
he was
case.
attached to him.
You could make that case.
Or the Grady Jarrett, Tom Brady at the very beginning of the year.
But that said, the NFL and the Players Association have officially licensed your game, so that's pretty cool. Meanwhile, that did happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
The game that you're talking about right now, NFL Rivals. Again, it's a mobile video game. Build your dream team. Play in the arcade style.
Build your dream team.
Fantastic.
My dream team consists of me, Max Crosby, Von Miller, probably Brandon Graham, Hassan Reddick, Akeem Hicks.
Keep going.
Vita Vea.
What about Quinnen Williams?
I can't have more than two big guys. That's my double A gap pluggers.
Okay.
And then I'd probably throw in just for fun Brian Burns.
Oh.
And will we cover anybody? Absolutely not. But would they get off the line? Absolutely not.
That's what I'm saying. Is that you're
smothered, not covered.
You don't have to cover anybody if you're getting to the quarterback within 1.2 seconds.
We love it.
Isn't that the way it works?
Yeah. The only person getting the ball off in that kind of time is Brady for a check down.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Cameron Jordan has just shown up as on fire as all get out. What year is this going to be for you next year?
Heading into the year, Baker's dozen, as I shall call it from this point forward.
Okay.
Just finished up year dozen.
That's amazing.
It feels good.
Do you feel good right now?
Absolutely. After I watched LeBron James just go for 38,000, 388
right,
points.
at age 38.
And drop a 38 ball.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, very good.
I feel great. I'm like, if he feels great, I better feel great.
Okay, all right. What would it be like for you to pick
I almost pushed this over.
I know.
Is that what you wanted? Like, I'm petty about mine.
I definitely don't want that.
I should have had a chance to earn it in like 20. I thought we possibly had a chance to get there in 19.
Oh, and I forgot. I brought up officiating. My bad.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry about that.
But it's the best officiating you've ever seen was the statement before this.
Cameron Jordan, everybody. Follow him on Twitter and Instagram at CamJordan94. NFL Rivals. Go get it where all of your games can be gotten. Get it soon.
I'm just saying, get it soon.
Get it soon. Get it soon. Thanks for coming on here,
Broncos Nation. No, that's a Sean thing now.
Oh. That's called a walk-off. That's called a walk-off. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.